Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Super GamesCast 64. This is the podcast where we talk about video games and all the things you can video game. Austin, we're kind of in the crappy room today.
Oh, I know. This is where we had our worst episode ever. This is the notorious spot where that happened. I don't even remember what episode it was.
I don't remember much about it.
It was a few ago. I just remember the pain.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
What happened?
We just had nothing to talk about, and nothing we did talk about went over very well. And by the way, who's this?
Oh, hey, Tim Krajewski of The Ticket in Dallas.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, this is Tim.
This is a big deal.
He's from the Center Ring fame about those nerdy kind of video games where you get paid for them.
It's true.
You know,
this is true. It's just esports on there.
Tim, I've known Tim for a long time. We're old college buddies, right? No, we're not.
No, we definitely aren't.
No,
we have known each other for a while, but
yeah, for a long time.
I was too cool for you in college.
Too cool for me in college. I was the nerd getting picked on. You were hanging out with all the cool kids on the football team,
Getting married.
pushing me in the lockers. Yeah, and Tim got married. We'll get to that. Tim Krajewski, he does the podcast on the Blowout Network, The Center Ring. He's an old friend of mine. He's been in multiple videos I've done.
You say old friend like
Yeah,
we
not
haven't
that
seen
old.
each other every day this week.
That is true.
Like I'm just an old friend who flew in town. I've literally seen you every day this week.
We have seen each other a lot because it's dry dock and we're all doing shifts. And we did our video game podcast, Blow the Cartridge on the Ticket this week, which was really short. Really short.
Went over well, I heard, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who did
It
you hear
always
that
goes
from?
over well, but an hour with breaks,
Mhm.
I felt like by the time you get to introduce the topic, you're already wrapping it up.
I timed it. I downloaded all the little segments, and it was 38 minutes total.
Which
of
is
content.
nothing.
No, it's nothing. Our podcasts are longer than this, and that's even the worst podcast we ever did was longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I've always said, if you can do like an hour-long podcast, you can probably get away doing a 2-hour show
I agree.
easily.
Oh, my phone just buzzed.
It's very unprofessional.
I hope
of
that
you.
wasn't anybody. Okay, it's
Tim, can I be
nothing.
honest?
Yeah.
This happens almost every episode.
His phone goes off.
Yeah.
I'm unprofessional.
It's
What can I
become a
say?
part of the show, and I kind of like it.
Just at
Trey.
one point, his
Yeah.
phone will go off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's very that doesn't happen.
It's like
on,
a drinking game.
that doesn't happen on TCR.
Mm,
We run a tight ship on my podcast. You'd be done.
mhm.
You'd be fired. Never would work in the industry.
We actually used to do a podcast back in the day called Table Talk, way back in
that was a good
2013.
podcast. Maybe at a different time we could have continued it, but at that time we were all very younger and
We had a lot of things
a
going
lot
on.
of things between college and trying to get
Jeez.
food.
And I mean, just I had the heart surgery back then, and
This
then
is true.
Brandon just had a whole like different thing going on, and then you, I don't know what you were doing. You're doing
Just
something.
life. Just life.
Life happened.
I started interning here and
Yeah,
working the overnight.
yeah.
And when you work an overnight, it's very difficult to do a podcast.
Yes, Austin, it is very difficult to do a podcast when you work overnight, and you should recognize that.
Yeah, I worked overnights, and I didn't do any podcasts.
You know, I've been trying to work on this for 5 years, and I don't think you recognize it.
Hey, Trey.
Yeah.
Go to hell.
So yeah, Tim, you guys probably know Tim if you're fans of The Ticket. Captain Trips, he just recently got married. Yay!
I did. So take that for what you will. I hate telling people that though.
Yeah.
Like if we're being honest, like I know on air I always make a joke like, "Oh, the wife that I love so much."
Yeah.
And I said it before here. Nothing sounds more pretentious than telling people. And I don't know why, because it really shouldn't. Because for us fortunate few, it happens to almost everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, like
No,
to tell
and
people,
it-
like, yeah, like because when people are like, "Oh, so what's up with you, man?" People are like, "Well, nothing. I'm just going to work." But I have to now include like, "Well, I just got married."
Mm-hmm.
And then like they want to be like, "Oh, congratulations!"
Then
and,
it's that whole spiel of explaining. Oh yeah, we did this. We
yeah.
worked
Well, how long
here,
have you known each other? Oh, it was for the honeymoon, and it's just there's no good way just to slide that in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And I think it's different nowadays where people live together years before they get married, and it's just not that big of a deal.
There's not as many surprises.
Right. That's sort of what my take on the whole thing is. Is it's sort of like, okay, now it's official. almost.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, we're here today. I'm Trey Mitchell. That's also Guttery. Tim Krajewski. We're talking about Game of the Year 2016. We're going to get into a little more in the weeds with 2016 than we did on our old show, or the one on the ticket in Dallas, the 38-minute episode we did of Blow the Cartridge. We're going to kind of go down the list, bullet-pointed list of all the games that came out this year and all the systems that came out this year. We don't have to spend that much time on each one, but we'll go through everything just so we cover our bases, and then we want to give our personal top favorite games that came out this year and top favorite games we played this year, because I think there's a big difference, and I think all three of us know we're not industry. We don't work for the big websites, so we're not getting paid to play the newest games.
We don't have money.
We don't have money.
Sorry, I cannot buy every $60 AAA release that comes out.
Exactly. We can't play Titanfall, Call of Duty, and Battlefield. You got to pick one.
Or none.
Or none. You don't have to play any of them.
Or none.
You can just play Warcraft all day if you want to. Or Dota. Yeah, Tim's big into the
esports.
Yeah, esports scene. All that.
Yeah, Dota just came out with a big new update.
I hear it totally changed. It's almost like Dota 3.
I
right?
haven't played it, so I don't know what the changes are yet. But I'm sure if you haven't played Dota and you were looking forward to getting into it, this is probably as good as time as any, because I'm sure the new update, Steam was really advertising it. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be starting fresh.
Well, now, Dota is the mod on Warcraft.
So this is how it all started. So on Warcraft, someone made a mod or a game type called Dota.
I'm so fascinated how they can get away with that and then sell that. Like, is it someone within Valve?
It's like strictly like, how like when you see a Chinese knockoff and you're like, how is this possible? That's basically how it's possible, because they found every type of copyright loophole to get away with it.
That's crazy.
So like Dota started in Warcraft, the RTS. Then it created Dota 2, which was actually the first standalone Dota. There was never just a Dota 1. That was in Warcraft.
And Dota is Defense of the Ancients?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yep. So then Dota 2, which was the first Dota standalone, came out. And Valve made that. That's a Valve game.
Okay.
Not Blizzard at all. And then League of Legends came out, which everyone said copied Dota. And then now Heroes of the Storm came out, which is
Blizzard.
Similar.
Yeah.
Not exact. I mean, it's a MOBA for the argument, but it plays a lot different. And yes, so the irony is everyone says Blizzard copied League of Legends, which copied Dota, which started out on Blizzard anyways.
Everyone's copying everybody.
So it's it's a loop. You get back right to where you started.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a scam.
It is a scam. All these games are scams. We need to focus on what's really important. And that's whatever Alex Jones is talking about these days. All right, let's get into this. So we're going to start off with January 26th. I won't say the date every time. The Witness came out. And that was the John Blow big indie puzzle game. You're on an island, and you have to solve a bunch of puzzles. Did you guys play that at all?
Never heard of it.
No.
I didn't. So full disclosure.
Yeah.
Or disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same thing?
No.
Okay. Whichever one pertains to what I'm about to do, just fill that in. A lot of these games that I'm going to talk about today, I did not physically play myself.
Same here.
Through the glory of Twitch,
mm-hmm.
You don't have to.
No,
and if it's a game you don't really care about gameplay, and I'm just in it for the story and the artwork, I'm just going to watch it on Twitch.
I agree. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and a lot of my knowledge of a lot of these games come from podcasts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
no,
I've never
not played it either.
Okay. Never played The Witness.
Yeah.
I did watch it on Twitch.
Yeah. Did you? I didn't want to spend money on that.
I didn't. In fact, I was really interested in it, but then when I just kind of watched it and realized it's a bunch of mini puzzles, I was like, eh.
What was the whole ending? Like, I saw something. It was like live footage of something.
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know. It was weird. You got XCOM 2 on February 5th. Are you a big XCOM guy?
You seem like you would be.
Yeah, Tim. Pigeonholing you.
All my friends love it. I have always resisted playing it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that type of play style and everything, but there was something that came out around the same time as XCOM, and when we had to make a decision on what we wanted to buy, it could have been near Overwatch, maybe. Something. Well, Overwatch didn't come out in February.
Overwatch came out in
late May, right?
May, yeah.
May. Maybe my $60 went to Overwatch. My
Okay.
$60 went somewhere else when XCOM came out, and so I opted for that.
All right, February 9th, Firewatch.
I did spend money on
I did spend money on that too.
Sadly.
I enjoyed it though. I mean, for the 15, how much was it? $20?
It was $20 when it first came out, but like I think I got it for 10% off because it's
Yeah.
early, and it was like $18.
Yeah, for the
Did you play that, Austin?
I watched it. I didn't.
That's all
play
you
it.
had to do.
Mhm.
I know.
Yeah,
I would always suggest, like, even if you were thinking about buying it, I'd be like, nah, man, just watch me play it.
Any
Mhm.
game that's an interactive. I mean, I guess all games are interactive stories, but any game that is real heavy on story that's just basically interactive, like L.A. Noire, I heard was kind of a big waste of money, but was still entertaining. Anything like that, I'm just gonna watch. I'm not gonna spend money on it.
No, see, and I like story-driven games more so than the ones, like, I feel like that's why I don't like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that, because the story gets so...
Mm-hmm. Secondary and
Yeah, like, you forget what is the actual story by the time you finally get back to the main one.
Oh, same here. I'm a huge story guy over anything else in a game.
Give me a linear game over an open world game any day of the week if the
Mm.
story's good. That being said, for $18 or $20 at full price, Firewatch at the longest is maybe 4 hours.
yeah, it was an afternoon.
That's if you explore everything and just take in the scenery.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you just want to run through it and kind of play it like normal, you could get it done in 3 hours.
Mhm.
And at the end, the story was, you felt like it just kind of left you hanging.
Mhm.
Like, throughout the whole thing, there was like this suspense of, like, oh man, this is a government.
You
You
thought, yeah.
stumbled upon this gate, and now it's like a government inside job, and what's going on? This kid, I found a dead kid here, and what's, like, it got you really psyched up and almost scared. Like,
Yeah,
you
I was my
like,
heart
it-
was beating at some points.
it had you at the edge of your seat, and then you're flirting with this chick the whole time through the radio.
Nice.
And then all you want to do is get in her pants by the end of it.
I mean,
and
I
that
thought there was
doesn't
going to be
even happen.
such a. I thought there was going to be something where she was like a robot, or she was a dude,
And, you know,
or she was
Or like
just
part of the
something.
government
Yeah.
scheme. And I'm not going to lie, like, I wasn't even like playing games with her. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm married. What's up?
Yeah,
You ever been with a married man? You want to be?
I was
like, I was not
telling her,
playing
but I
around.
was
And the fact that at the end she's like, oh, well, gonna go our separate ways. It was good. I think right now the Steam sale is going on.
Yeah,
It just
I saw
started, I
that.
think, yesterday, the winter Steam sale, and so you can get it for like $12.
Mhm.
Still though,
Even
that's-
for $12, like, dude, that is a 3-hour game with an ending that is not that crazy.
Yeah. It felt like Lost to me for a long time until you kind of figured out the ending was sort of more bland than it originally kind of pushed.
Yeah, which maybe that's what they were going for. Maybe they were trying to get a game where it's like, look, not everything has to be like some crazy ass thing. It's just normal life.
But that was my problem with True Detective. Was that whereas where they led you on through the whole show, and then at the end, it's just normal.
Yeah.
What an idiot! You would think it would be something supernatural or something weird.
Or
What an
maybe
idiot.
this is setting up for Firewatch 2,
Probably not.
And it
3, and
It-
4.
Could be, but at this point, I almost feel like they just need to give it to me for free.
Yeah. I mean, it was fine. I enjoyed it. I did not hate it.
No, I didn't hate it. I
yeah.
just think for the money, it was.
If you had gotten it for free, would you think it was one of the best games?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If it was
Sure.
like it seems like a game that would almost be included on your system when you buy it.
Yeah.
So the central complaint here is just the price. then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think if I would have, and this won't make any sense for my point, but if I would have bought it originally for $10, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
But now that I bought it and played it for $20, I will tell you $10 is still not worth it. Like, does that make any sense? No, not really. But
Yeah, because $10
you're
is the
you're
price.
just so soured by it.
yeah, I guess it left a bad taste in my mouth that I spent $20.
Yeah.
$10 is the price of a 2-hour movie, and you got 3 hours of entertainment out of it. So
Good point.
Street Fighter V came out February 16th. Did you play that at all?
Hell yeah, I played it, man. I'm a sucker for anything in the FGC. So
I hear it was kind of a lackluster game at first.
No, the launch was rough.
Yeah.
The launch was rough. But like I got Street Fighter V, I got my fighter stick, so I got like I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And the launch was rough. Like the servers were very bad. You couldn't connect to a fight, and I mean the game was launched incomplete too, though. Like it did not have all of its features when the game.
Yeah,
first came out.
I remember hearing about that. People were kind of upset.
Yeah,
a little bit about that. It was a game where I liked the Mortal Kombat that came out I think 2 years ago. I liked that a lot. I just didn't know if I was gonna dig this much. I didn't buy it.
It's a fighting game, man. Like
yeah.
I feel like me and my brothers grew up playing Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, so it's just gone with me in life.
Yeah.
I don't think at a young age, if you don't get into fighting games, like Austin, do you like fighting?
Dude, that's me. I cannot stand fighting games,
See,
and only for the reason that I am so bad at them.
See, and like no fighting game is going to change your mind.
Yeah. Like I've always really wanted to get into them and play them. I never really learned them as a kid because I was bad and I never bought one, and and so today I still can't play them. I'm still so bad at them, so I've just never gotten into it.
Right, and that's the issue. That's their limitations. Like they just announced a new Marvel versus Capcom for next year, and it's the first one I think since like 2011 when Marvel versus Capcom 3 came out, and there was a huge thing saying like they were never going to come out with a new one because now Disney owns Marvel, and they were like, okay, well there's no way that licensing and all that's going to work.
Disney's been actually really good with their licensing.
Yeah, my main point being though is like,
I hear you.
Even like Marvel versus Capcom would be something that would make you interested, but I would still be like, yeah, but if you don't like fighting games, don't get it. It's gonna be a fighting game.
I got Pokken Tournament, and
that's cool.
I've enjoyed that because it's not your standard.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. It suckered me in with an IP that I already really like, and that got me into it a little bit, but I was still so bad at it.
Yeah, I mean the transition between that though and like Street Fighter is way different.
Far Cry Primal came out February 23rd.
That kind of bombed.
You know what? People like it. I mean, I think it's sort of a critical darling.
It looked really dope.
Yeah.
I think it just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, I mean, it came out very, very early in the year. It was sort of a secondary Far Cry game, but I think people dug it for the most part. It was one of those games where I'm like, I kind of want to buy it, but I don't know if I want to spend the money on it.
No, it's I stay away from the Far Cry series. So.
You do?
Yeah,
you don't like?
It's the open world stuff, man. I know myself better. I won't look at like Oblivion and all those games. The Witcher 3, none of them I don't put as much time as they need to.
Super Hot came out February 20. You know what? I'm gonna stop for months. February.
Thank you.
Super Hot. Did you play that at all, Tim? Do you know what Super Hot is?
Not off the top of my head.
It's this game where it's a first, or is it a first person shooter? I think it's a first person shooter where every movement, every single movement freezes in time. So you can really
I have
choreograph.
Heard about this.
Yeah.
Where it's like you kind of have to strategize where you're going to go.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah.
I know I have not played it, but I have heard about that it was pretty cool.
I played the free demo and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I never played the full thing, but I heard it was really cool.
And I've seen people play it online. So, I mean, if you guys want a good, I'm sure it's pretty cheap on Steam. It's a pretty cool game. Yeah. I know there's like a VR Super Hot too.
Okay, so I just Googled. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's really recognizable because of the polygonal art style.
Okay, yeah. I know it.
Mm-hmm.
Googling Super Hot definitely brings up a mixed amount of images.
I'm always scared when they walk by, they're going to say, hey, we need the studio.
Oh, God.
We're doing this during the day. Cat did walk by once.
I saw him.
Yeah.
Well, then we're probably good.
Yeah. March. I mean, did you have anything else you wanted to add on that? Or?
No, that's.
Yeah.
I know the game.
Yeah, it's a neat game. It's fun to watch people play that because it's, every little movement is choreographed and you see the whole thing at the end. So it looks like this really badass action scene. So it's a good time. Great sandwiches, pop bellies. Then you had The Division. Tom Clancy's The Division that came out in March. Did you guys touch that at all? I got it for something. I didn't buy it, but I got it. I've not even touched it.
There's no reason to.
And it's like I want to sell it.
Like, so I played the beta.
Yeah.
And from the beta, I hit max level and I played it a lot in beta. And after that, I felt like I was like, okay, I feel like I played the game, which is never a good thing where if you're done with the beta and you feel like, I feel like I've done just about everything, that's probably not a good thing. Now, the new update that I've heard does make it better because they adopted a lot of features from like Diablo and World of Warcraft on how they do their MMO part of it, but I have no desire to go back to it.
Hitman Episode 1, I hear it's actually pretty good. People are digging it, this Hitman game. I guess it's they're putting out like new, I guess, episodes or levels each month, and people are really digging it. I don't know if you guys have any opinions on it.
I've never played Hitman. My roommate really likes the series.
Yeah.
That's all I have on Hitman.
Yeah.
That's about all it does for me.
I've watched it on Twitch long time ago in one various game of Hitman. I remember playing it and it just wasn't what I expected. Like I expected it being a lot cooler and not, I don't know. I felt like the limitations of it wasn't as fun, but whatever. I haven't played this one, so it could be completely different.
Yeah. Pokken Tournament came out March 18th.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fun game.
it's fun for a fighting game. It looked really good.
Yeah.
It was, the graphics were very nice, Trey.
Yeah. If Wii U games were ever get a little cheaper, I might get it.
It's fun. Now, the thing with that, though, you also have to get the controller. Do you have to play with their controller or no?
No, I played with the gamepad and it worked fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. They do have like a special fighting pad for it too as well. That was really cool. So when I went to DreamHack Austin, it's like a bunch of tournaments, and they had Pokken over there, and so you had like all the pros playing there.
Yeah.
It got a moderate crowd. I mean, it's gonna get a crowd anywhere just because of the venue, but
I think it'd be like the greatest arcade game because it started as an arcade system.
well, it
in
plays like
Japan.
it too, though.
Right. And I think like in a bar, that is the greatest thing you could play. But at home for $60, I felt a little underwhelmed.
Yeah.
For
$60.
I would never buy a fighting game at full price because you do the same thing over and over and you have the same set cast of characters. It'd be a great $25 game, but I felt a little underwhelmed paying $60 for it.
Indeed. Paragon came out March 18th. Did you guys play Paragon?
Doesn't ring a bell.
I bring it up because a friend of mine and his roommate like play it all the time, and it seems like
it's the MOBA.
Yeah, the MOBA.
No, that's trash.
Yeah,
Get that outta
it looked
here.
like trash.
It's not good.
It really looked like
It's
trash.
not.
Like very generic. And
It's
trash.
very generic. Basically, it's Epic's journey into the MOBA. Same people who did like Unreal and stuff like that, and they tried making a MOBA which was a little different. It's more like Smite, where it's over the shoulder, third person MOBA action, and rather than like the cartoony graphics that most MOBAs are, like Dota or League of Legends, where it's more fantasy, this one they tried going with a more realistic approach with the Unreal Engine, and it didn't catch as much attention as people like.
I want to give a little shout out to Adrift. Did you guys even play that looking? I mean, it's a cool. It's like the movie Gravity, where you're in space and you have to control your. I mean, I've played like just a little bit of it, but it's pretty neat. It's a neat game. I think you could play it on VR. Going down the list, we need to kind of there's a lot on here, so let's kind of speed up on some of these. Hyperlight Drifter came out in March. Did you guys play Hyperlight Drifter at all?
No. I feel like a lot of these are indie games.
Yeah,
Was it the year of indie games? Is that what you're
I think
telling me?
I think there were a ton of indie games this year, and a lot of
So,
really good ones.
Now, here's the thing, too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we did the show, I was also finding myself running into this issue a lot.
Yeah.
And it was one of my rules of picking games of the year or games that I enjoyed. Like for instance, like one of my favorite games of the year that came out, I think back in March, was Speedrunners, which is on sale for like $3 on Steam. So I would highly suggest that if you have people to play it with.
Mm-hmm.
With randoms, it's probably not nearly as fun, but with friends, it's amazing. That game, though, really like came out like 2 years ago with early access.
Yeah.
It officially came out this year in March. So like I made the rule of like, okay, if a game isn't early access, I'm not going to put that on my list.
Right. Yeah, early access is weird.
It's throwing
and that's
everything
a whole
off.
nother topic.
The early access games that are literally staying in, or like I've had games now in my Steam account for like a good year that are still in early access, and I'm like, why? Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Is the reason they do that is just for testing, basically?
Well, it's for both. Like, every developer is a little different that I've noticed. Like, some really do it so like they get feedback. Like every time you log in or every time you close it, they ask for feedback.
Okay.
So that's good. Some of them do it for funding because, I mean, it's the easiest way, right? They can spend more money on things like that. And then some do it just because they're sleazy.
Yeah, it almost just seems like a way to say like, hey, here's an incomplete game that we just want to start making money on.
Mhm.
If we released it, people would be like, this is shit. But if we call it early access, then
Then it's
every
okay.
problem gets excused.
And we
basically.
maybe do a patch every other month.
Yeah.
And they
like-
never usually release it, right?
No, like
Yeah.
there's like Ark for one. A lot of
Yeah.
people like Ark. However, they completely basically like, so it was like a dinosaur type of survival game, and everyone paid early access for it. And then all of a sudden, Ark announced how they're doing a new battle royale version of Ark, which is like, you know, like H1Z1, how it's
Right.
like kind of like a multiplayer survival, if you will. And people were pissed because it's like, I bought this money, I spent this money on your other game, and now you're coming out with this new game that has like $1 million prize pool and stuff. Like, where did you get that $1 million from? Oh, that's right, from me. So that's kind of one of the examples of like companies basically used your money that you spent for this early access game to work completely on this different game.
Mhm.
You're like an unwilling investor.
Yeah,
They're like
that's what it is.
investor rape you, basically.
That's exactly what it is. There was another game, I forget what it is. I bought it. It's like an island game where you're like,
Oh, The Woods.
no,
Right?
no. I mean, it's a bunch of them like that,
Okay.
but similar, same thing where you're in the island.
Yeah.
Bro, that developer, they'll tweet once in a blue moon, but they basically took the money and ran.
Yeah.
Like they are developing that game slow. So it's the risk you run. I typically stay away from early access games now because of that.
Yeah, I'll hopefully I'll be getting a PC soon this year, and yeah, I don't. Even wanna touch
with
that.
your console pleb, so you don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah,
Us
plebs.
PC master race, we have to worry about that early access stuff.
Did you guys play Quantum Break? On the Xbox
I
One.
really wanted to. I love. It's gonna sound weird. I love time. I love like Clock Stoppers is one of my favorite
Yeah.
movies. I love time-based shit. I was super excited for this. And there's a local.
I wish I'd known that because I owned it for a while. I
Oh,
didn't
really?
touch it, and I sold it to get some
Dude,
money. I wish
well,
I'd.
I
known
heard
that.
it was bad.
It,
I heard
I
it was
heard
okay.
it was okay.
I heard it didn't work. Basically,
Oh.
like the pieces were all there and they didn't quite fit together.
Sure.
Also, one of the stars is a local actress,
Oh.
Courtney Hope, I think
Okay.
is her
Really?
name.
Well, the main guy is what's his face?
Dominic Monaghan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got the guy from X-Men.
Well, is it the guy from X-Men or is it his
Both.
twin
They're
brother?
both, yeah. Twin brother.
Okay.
Yeah, I was excited, and then I read about it, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spend $60
Yeah,
on
I hear
this.
it's okay.
I'm only
I
gonna
hear
spend
it's
$60
okay.
on a game if
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
That's my issue. Is the $60 price tag for a game I'm iffy on. I'm like,
Yeah.
Remember they used to be $50, 2004, 2005. Those were the days.
Those were the days. Dark Souls 3, did you guys touch that? Dark Souls?
no, I did not.
Dark Souls.
I have tapped out of that genre of games. The rip your hair out and throw your
Yeah.
controller game.
I've yet to venture into it. I own Dark Souls 1 and I own Bloodborne, and I want to play Dark Souls 1 before I play Bloodborne. I do want to play them. I think I'll be all right because I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah, I mean, you have to play them knowing that you're going to die,
Yeah.
and it's going to be frustrating, and their save mechanics suck, but that's what they want. They
Mhm.
want you to only being able to save not very often. But like I've definitely ventured into the old man gamer where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm just here to have fun, man.
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
not here to break any records.
Yeah, I'm not, and that's a lot. With some of these games, people have a lot of the people I talk to. Some of the people have a lot of problems with games that are, more story based because they're too short. There's not a lot of, your choices in exploring. It's like, yeah, I'm 28 years old. I like open world games, and I'll get sucked into an open world game, and we'll get to that later. But there are games, a lot of times I just want a game that's short. I don't need 50 hours.
It came out last year, I think. Last year, The Order for PS4.
Yeah.
And people were bitching because it was only like 6 hours of gameplay. And I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You give me a 6-hour single player,
good.
We're good. I can beat that in like a week.
Ratchet and Clank came out in April. It's really charming. It's really fun, and that's one of the games I kind of want to get back into.
Was that Ratchet and Clank the movie, the game?
Yeah, the movie, the game.
Okay.
Yeah, but it didn't have anything to do with the movie. And it was actually better than the movie.
Yeah.
And the animation was better than the movie. And it's a really, really fun game. It's really good looking. It's beautiful. I recommend you buy that if you can. It's pretty cheap. It's only on PS4. I think when you bought it, it was $40, and I bet it's even less than that right now. But I highly recommend Ratchet and Clank, especially if you have kids. That's a good kids game, and there's really not a lot of those outside of Nintendo. Good kid games. It's a really good kid game.
I had friends growing up who were really into Ratchet and Clank,
Yeah.
and Jack and Daxter, and I never got into it, but it seemed fun.
It's kind of it's sort of a good look back or a homage to those old character platformers.
Yeah.
And we're getting a lot more
Your
of
Crash
those.
Bandicoots.
Yeah, your Crashes and your Mario 64s. Banjo-Kazooies. And all your other, especially Banjo, I guess. Yeah, Banjo's the one you mentioned. Yeah. Star Fox Zero came out on April. That was a big disappointment.
I was very excited. I heard once you get used to the controls, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I just didn't want to bother.
Yeah, that's what I heard. A lot of people were just...
I have a Wii U, but like we said earlier, the $60 price tags.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, paying $60 for a Nintendo game just seems like an awful lot.
Unless it's Zelda or a 3D Mario.
Or Pokemon. Like one of those games you're going to get 2 months of gameplay out of.
Yeah.
Like after a few weeks, I feel like my entertainment levels eclipsed the $60, and then after that, I'm basically making money.
I'm looking at you, Splatoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Splatoon was great. Well, I think they updated it, though.
It's a fun game, but
Yeah.
it's just...
There's not much.
I mean...
It's not a Zelda. We'll talk about this later. I want to... Because I know I'm going to talk about this during the Game of the Year talk. But Uncharted 4 Thief's End came out in May 10th.
What came out after that?
Doom came out after that on May 13th. And everyone loves Doom. That's another game I really want to get back into playing.
Yeah.
There's a really good documentary by Daniel Dwyer on NoClip about the making of Doom and the canceled Doom 4 project. And
about the making of Doom, the series in general, or just the new one?
The new one,
Okay.
and kind of the scrap project they had and all that. So I didn't know that it was in Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I mean, I should have assumed because they have Quake
Gearbox.
Fest. No, that's
Right?
Gearbox.
Gearbox is over there, but they're over. ID is over here
I
too.
thought it was id, not ID.
Well, it is. It is id. Sorry.
Id, ID, whatever.
I'm just a...
TC was like, we were talking about it
it's
earlier.
id.
He's like, oh yeah, it is. He's like,
Drives
it's
me
ID.
insane.
And I'm like, oh, it's
No,
id.
it's id. It drives me insane that they
Yeah.
call it id, but it is.
Yeah.
No, yeah, my cousin-in-law.
Yeah, you're
works
talking about
for-
that. Yeah, I remember that.
He knows all those guys.
That's awesome.
Yep.
He might be in the documentary.
I highly doubt it, but
Okay.
maybe.
Okay. Overwatch. Oh well, yeah. Doom. If you like arcadey shooters, I mean it's pretty solid. I had fun playing it. Overwatch, May 24th. Overwatch. We can
Awesome.
probably talk about that later.
It's
Yeah.
Overwatch. There's really nothing you can say that someone hasn't
Yeah.
heard before. It won Game of the Year at the Game Awards. It's a very popular game. I'm gonna go
Mhm.
home and play it tonight. And
Witcher 3
Whatever.
Blood and Wine expansion. Witcher 3 expansion. And that it was weird that in the Game Awards that was nominated for RPG of the year. And I think it won RPG of the year, even though it was an expansion.
I can't think of any other RPGs that really came
that's
out
probably
this year.
why
Yeah.
it won.
Oxenfree came out on the 31st of May. I hear that's a really, really charming
Yeah.
game. It's sort of 80s Goonies, Stranger Things.
Mhm.
You're on what meets Lost.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys play. It's another indie game. I'm gonna skip Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I don't think you guys played that.
Thank you.
No,
Yeah.
that's
Mighty
Mirror's Edge is the most overhyped
Yeah, I agree.
series ever.
Mighty Number 9. That was a big disappointment.
That was terrible.
Terrible.
Terrible, and I was really looking forward to that because I love those type of platform.
Mega Man.
Yeah.
Mega Man. They just came out with a new one where it was like something half genie. It's
Okay.
like they,
Shantae?
yes.
Yeah.
That looks awesome. I'm gonna buy that tonight.
Did you never play the original?
No.
Oh, it was on Game Boy Color, and back when I subscribed to Nintendo Power, Shantae was in like every episode for
Hell
a year,
And
or
your
every
little-
issue for a year.
little-
it was a
little
lot of fun.
Austin was like, hey,
Hey.
I was like, hold
What's
on,
up?
just close that door real quick.
What's up? No, yeah, that looks. I love those type of games. I am a sucker
Yeah.
for indie Shovel Knight stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So I was really looking forward to that. There's a new one though that's coming out that's almost like Mighty 9. It's in early access. I forget the name of it, but it looks like what Mighty 9 was supposed to be.
Yeah. I know Owlboy, which we might get to in a bit. That's been another platformer
Mhm.
kind of.
That's supposed to be a good one.
Yeah. Inside came out in June 29th. I love that game. That was really
too.
cool. The atmosphere was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's Playdead is the studio that did Limbo.
Yep.
And I loved Limbo.
Mhm.
I just love that. It's a kind of like a chill but not chill game.
Yeah, and
love
the last, I guess, quarter of it were no
Weird.
spoils, but God, that was fun.
Being
Like, that was-
the blob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had so much fun doing that.
yeah.
That was like a payoff, you know. It was like, okay, you just did all this platforming and puzzle, and then now you're just this wrecking ball of sludge and octopus. It was
People
great.
limbs.
Yeah, people limbs, and man, it was such an enjoyable game.
That's in my Game of the Year consideration.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Tim, did you play that at all?
No, I watched it on Twitch.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna pick it up here this weekend during
Yeah.
the Steam sale, but
All right.
I'm a huge indie guy, but I'm also a sucker because I know Steam's
sales?
Steam's gonna put that thing on sale in a couple months. So
I can't wait to.
if I just hold
Oh, yeah,
out a
yeah.
couple months, I can get like 4 of them for the
Oh,
price
yeah.
of one.
I Am Setsuna. I hear it's a really good JRPG that came out on the PS4 and PC. I don't know if you guys know anything about that. It's not important. What's important is Pokemon Go came out in July. That's what's important. We could have a whole. Well, we did have a whole podcast.
Yeah, we had a whole
Pokemon
show
Go.
on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a huge phenomenon. Phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean, same as Overwatch. Everything that's already been said about it's been said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Do you guys play it anymore?
Yeah, every day. I still
He
get on.
does.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to fill out the Pokedex, and it's so fucking hard.
I do not. I mean,
I'm not.
I'll pull it up from time
Yeah.
to time, like when I was in Disney World for the honeymoon,
Oh yeah.
where it's
totally.
like where if you're in a place with like Wi-Fi and stuff, I'll have it up.
Yeah.
I think if like I did more traveling, I might do that because I remember doing it in LA when I was there during the summer, and actually it was crazy because when it came out, I was actually on at a bachelor party in New Orleans, so there was a whole bunch of Pokemon there. Then right from New Orleans, I went to Los Angeles, and so I was catching a whole bunch of different Pokemon. And so it's a cool travel kind of game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can go to different states and see what's there.
If you were playing it for the gyms and stuff, I'm sure you stopped playing a long time ago because
Yeah.
that gets old. But if like my girlfriend and I are playing it, trying to fill our Pokedexes, and it's so much fun. Like once a week, probably we'll go on the nest map and look where new nests have spawned, and then we'll travel around the city, and it's just a fun way to kill.
So is that
4 or
how it
5
works?
hours.
Like you do have to go to. Oh, look at that! I just found a
Holiday Pikachu.
little holiday
Oh.
Pikachu.
He's got a Santa hat on.
There you
Oh,
go.
Man.
Yeah, so like there's, any Pokemon will spawn basically anywhere, but like they have these specific areas called nests where one type of Pokemon will spawn at a super high rate there, and so you can go to like Cole Park or to City Place, and there'll be one specific there. So like we'll check what we need, and they shift every 2 weeks. And so we'll like knock out, we need all these 2 weeks, and the next 2 weeks, then we'll go around town for a week and find all the ones we need. And
Okay,
it's
so
a lot
as
of
a
fun.
collecting game, that sounds not bad.
Yeah.
Abzu came
Hold
out.
on, Trey. Can we go back to February real quick?
Yeah, sure. Go
You didn't include Stardew Valley.
Oh, I didn't, did I?
Bro,
Okay, no,
come
I think I wrote it in somewhere because I definitely I remember not seeing it on the list and writing it in. I guess
That's
I didn't
on my
write it
list
in.
of
I guess I did not write it
possible
in.
game of the year.
Yeah,
games.
let's
Same
talk about Stardew Valley.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. It looks great. It plays great. It's fun. There's it fizzles out after a couple weeks because there's no end game, but it's a very enjoyable
I think
ride.
it just came out on PS4.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Did it?
Uh-huh. I
It's
think Vita too.
it's really cool because you can play it as almost like a farming life simulator,
Yeah.
but then you also have like the cave, which kind of
Yeah.
satisfies your
It's a little-
dungeon crawling adventure game, and then you have your crops and the economy aspect. So if you really want to just focus on
Is it
making
like
a bankroll, you can do that, or updating your house, or living up. Technically, the end game is like living up to your grandpa's legacy.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
some-
Is it like
like
Harvest
that.
Moon?
It's a
I've
lot.
never played Harvest
Okay.
Moon, so
It's Harvest Moon and Animal Crossing.
Okay.
if
yeah,
they-
okay.
Oh wow.
It's like it reminds me of Animal Crossing because that's
Yeah.
what I played. with.
There's a town and
Mr. Nook
yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to steal all your bells.
It's
Yeah.
awesome, and then you got to try to court the women in the town.
Ooh,
Or the men.
Or the
Get you
men.
some, or
It's
yeah, hey,
2016.
you
20
do you. I'm
Love
not
is
judging.
love. Love is
I'm not
love,
judging.
gentlemen. Abzu came out in August. Did you guys play Abzu?
I've never even heard
So
of
I'm buying it this again. It's
Yeah.
another one of those indie games that I'm buying that I watched on Twitch. So that's one of the few that I never played it, but it's on my game of the year list
Ooh.
because it's beautiful.
Yeah. It's not by that game company. It's by people from that game company. That game company, that's the company that did Journey and Flower. And it's from people who were there, and it's sort of a spiritual, it's not successor,
Like,
but
like a,
yeah, it's
it's good though. It's
it's
awesome,
very similar
man.
to
It's
Journey.
very chill.
yeah.
It's like you kind of a 2D, 3D art style, and you're a scuba diver.
It's like
Yeah.
Inside where it's
Yeah,
a 3D.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
What do they call it? 2.5D.
Yeah,
Batman
sometimes you can go deeper in.
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
you can't.
Batman Telltale episode 1 came out August 2nd. That's on my game of the year list probably. I really enjoyed the story. It was very engaging. I think it's because I like Batman and I liked what they did with it. I liked how they changed it up. It's not the same old Batman story. You know, there are things in that game that are very unexpected.
I'm just kind of out on superheroes in general. It's
Really?
that-
Yeah, but
I've never been
Batman's-
into them.
I think Batman's so different
I'm
though.
a sucker for him.
Yeah, Batman isn't, your generic Iron Man or even Spider-Man. I mean, he's a very complex individual, and it's
Yeah.
not superpowers.
Of all the superheroes, Batman is probably the least boring for me, but superheroes always
Yeah.
have just
I love
kinda-
all those Telltale games too.
Yeah,
though.
the Telltale games
Telltale
are
are
great.
great.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you would.
Yeah.
It's really well done, really well done, and it's funny. It's right next to this game. No Man's Sky came out on August 9th.
Now,
Terrible.
when we're picking the game of the year, what is our criteria? Is it what we think was the
What is your
Best
favorite
game?
game? No, this is personal.
Okay.
This is
okay.
not.
So this isn't what
we-
was
we-
the most
yeah.
impactful.
No,
Or, okay.
it's what is your favorite game of the year?
Okay.
I mean, technically, Times Magazine picks Person of the Year. They've picked Hitler before, and they picked Donald Trump this year. So
Hey, by the way,
it can be as someone who's not great. Now, if you like Donald Trump for this, maybe you can just insert, I say Hillary in there. So I don't know.
now Trey, remember you were Times Person of the Year 2006.
I was.
Remember,
I
and so were
was.
you, Tim, and so was I. And
Oh yeah, we
how's-
all were.
Yeah, how's it been working out for everybody?
Yeah, I don't know. Not great.
Tim doesn't. You don't remember this?
Not another reference.
They had a mirror on the front. They had like a reflective piece of,
No,
and it was like Times Person of the Year is
You.
you.
It's like
2006, and it was.
that was because they forgot they had to do
Yeah,
one, so they
so they-
scrambled for it.
Oh
Oh God, what are we gonna do? No, No Man's Sky was the joke game of the year. That one to this day drives me insane, and the fact that you, Trey Mitchell,
Me?
defended them when that game first came out, being like, "Well, they didn't really lie. It's just the hype, and people got distracted, and they said it was that, and they never said it was multiplayer." No, there's interviews of them saying, "Hello Game," saying like, "Yes, it is multiplayer." Well, can you grief people? Yes, you can grief people. How the hell can you grief people if it's not multiplayer? Like, how was anyone else going to interpret that answer?
It's somewhere in the middle between you guys. I don't think they went in intending to deceive, but they got too far into something they couldn't get out, and the only
Yeah.
way to save their asses was to.
I'm with
Stretch the
him.
truth.
I'm with Austin on that. I think my whole thing was at the beginning we didn't know the whole scope of it. We didn't because I don't know.
No, but I mean, they didn't even live up to
Yeah.
what they did show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they did show these giant planets and these giant dinosaurs.
That's the worst part. That they
Yeah,
intentionally
that is.
made a separate game, basically, to show on Kimmel and everything that was a self-contained standalone thing that never was going to see public.
No, and all the planets were beautiful, and they had these amazing creatures that didn't look like just freaking Frankensteinian blobs.
And then like being like how he's like you can be like a space pirate and it's like
But it's up for Game of the Year for me because they added bases last week.
Oh yes,
so
they did.
it's complete now.
Indeed. No, Tim, I think we should just settle it. I mean, okay, I was wrong, but I think I get super optimistic about things when they first kind of come about, and I like to think that it's the best of situations, or I like to see the best in things. But after a while, I
it was
form
also
more on
though,
your side.
and I would be with you on that if they handled it any differently. But the fact that their entire Twitter went ghost for about 4 months, without even saying anything about it, other than wow, 2 people have already met each other.
Yeah,
amazing. This
and
huge
those 2
galaxy,
people didn't even see each
and they
other.
didn't even see each other.
Yeah.
And then like this whole time they're saying like how you'll never see people. Fool,
Because there's no multiplayer.
It's the internet. Like, and even if it was multiplayer, don't act like you're so like it's the internet. People are gonna go out of their way to try to find people.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna tell me like out of all your random spawn generators, one person isn't gonna spawn next to somebody else. Give me a break. And then so they go dark on Twitter forever. And then the first thing Sean Murray tweets out is when they supposedly got hacked, but it was a disgruntled employee. And then he went dark again. And then finally after the patch, he tweeted out saying like, oh, sorry about the miscommunications. We just want to make sure things were perfect.
I think
like,
it's just because every
dude.
time they tweeted something, they just got roasted.
Yeah.
And
It's just, I felt like, it's like you said, I mean, it was Hello Games is a small company and they just didn't know how to handle being like in everyone's like spotlight. And if they would have just if they were a larger company like EA, where they actually have like PR
Sony didn't do them
or
any favors.
somebody to tell them what to do.
Yeah. Sony didn't do them any favors.
But what did Sony know?
Well, Sony financed the game. They
But
put money in
what
the
I'm
game.
telling you though is all these Sony might have thought it was what everyone else did because Steam definitely had it down as a multiplayer game.
Well, it's
And
up to
then Steam
Sony
changed.
to research the game they're financing and get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Unless Sean Murray's
There's
just...
a lot of faults in hand.
There are.
Nonetheless,
Media's too. Media hyped it up, hyped the hell of it. And there was a.
I don't blame the media for hyping something that
It looks
admitted,
fucking
though,
amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
no, yeah, but I mean, I was listening to IGN, their podcast Beyond. I know people don't like IGN, but their podcasts, their personalities are really good. Podcast Beyond, and they're admitting like, we probably shouldn't have done all these specials for that.
But why
game.
shouldn't have? I mean,
Yeah.
that was
No,
the
yes,
hype. That's
yes,
It
I
fans.
looked
agree.
so cool.
It's
Yeah.
their job to do that.
Right.
I agree.
Like if for this podcast, for example, if you were like the Nintendo Switch, if
Yeah.
you're going to do an episode on the Nintendo Switch and then all of a sudden it ends up bombing, are you going to be like, well, I guess that's our fault?
no,
I guess we hyped it up.
I
Like,
understand
no,
that. Yeah.
that's what the hype is.
right.
Because in the end, media is just fanboys. That's
Well,
all that is.
But I think they're mainly talking about having these developers on all the time and always showing trailers and always showing things all the time.
Yeah, I don't
nonstop.
blame the media for that though.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I think we settled that. It's solved now. We can be happy. R.I.P. Sean Murray. He's probably not working in this industry again.
No, he's still working. He's tweeting. They're actually hiring. If you want
Oh,
to go
they
work,
are?
if you actually want to dive into that one,
I do not want to dive into that one. Grow Up, Tim. It came out on August 16th. Did you play Grow Home last year? Grow Home, the little robot that.
no. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But no.
I love that. That was one of my favorite games
It
from
looked really
last year.
cool.
Yeah, and Grow Up, the sequel came out, and I haven't played it at all.
Okay.
But I think it's supposed to be pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, so I might check that out maybe.
I
Maybe
probably
soon.
won't.
No. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. Does that interest you at all, Tim?
Hell yeah,
Timmy?
man. Deus Ex is awesome.
Mhm.
I haven't played the newest one yet. It's actually on sale for like 50% off,
Oh,
so I might
really?
pick it
Oh,
up. It's
okay.
like 20, 25 bucks. So I might pick it up. I love Deus Ex though.
Mother Russia Bleeds. That's another indie game that I hear is really good. It's like a beat 'em up. It's from Devolver Digital. Friend of the show actually, because they're big P1s. Devolver Digital, I can thank for tweeting my Hotline Miami video out.
Oh, that was them?
Yeah, that's them.
Very cool.
This isn't advertising or anything.
That's
like
they.
that for them. This isn't like advertising or plug.
So they made Hotline Miami?
Yeah, they produce or
whatever.
What is it? They didn't create
Distributed.
it, but they distributed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess they distributed this. Mother
That
Russia
game will
Bleeds.
make you want to kill yourself.
Mother Russia, Hotline Miami.
Yeah.
You don't like it?
I like it, but it
It's
is
frustrating.
Oh yeah, it's very
frustrating, dude.
frustrating.
It's like Super Meat Boy.
like
Yes.
where I mean after about 15
Yeah.
minutes I'm done. I
I
can't
had to
do
look
it.
at I had to look at videos for some of the levels because I'm
Yes,
like, okay, how do
same
I get
thing
through
with
this?
all those games,
Yeah.
man. You're good for like 10-15 minutes at a time. I don't see how those people
there was one thing
power
I
through.
was almost crushed. I was almost like, I can't do this.
Any game where you respawn instantly
Yeah.
just keeps you hooked a little longer because if you're dying every few seconds, but it takes a minute to load every time you die, you're fucking out. But
Yeah.
It was just automatically.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do it. I can do it this time. Just I don't really want to talk about it too much, but just sort of a public service announcement. BioShock collection came out this year. If you've not played BioShock, buy this. Play BioShock.
It's the
or
perfect
find it
way.
cheap on Steam.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a perfect
Yeah.
way to play BioShock.
Perfect way.
One of the greatest games ever made.
It really is. Recore came out on September 13th. That was a game that was revealed at E3, and it would look like this humongous AAA game.
Wait,
And
that
it
already
just-
came out?
Yeah.
The robot animals?
Yeah.
Oh god, I thought that was like mid next year and it was gonna be
No.
this big thing.
No,
I don't-
dude, it was very small. It was kind of a fart when it came out. It wasn't anything.
Huh, I was kind of excited.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a disappointment. Speaking of disappointments, Mafia 3 came out
Trey, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know why you were so excited about Mafia.
because
Dude.
I like the story.
You want to talk about people getting hyped up?
Yeah.
Everyone was hyped up
They
for that
were.
game.
Really?
I was like, guys, it's Mafia 3.
Well, the story looked really cool.
I remember
really
playing the
dug
first
story.
one and it wasn't
The
good.
first, dude, I played the first and second one for a video that is like in limbo right now. Yeah, I mean the second one I couldn't play the first one. It was too early PS2. It just was not fun. But the second one, it was the same problem Mafia 3 had. Great story, shitty gameplay.
It's LA Noir all over again. Just
Sure.
a story where you're along for the ride and you get to push the cart a little to the left, a little to the right.
Well, it was an open world that didn't need to be an open world.
Yeah.
It was, you're just driving around for no apparent reason. There's really nothing to do. You're just driving. And it's pretty, but you're just driving. And the story's great, but it's nothing else. Gears of War 4 came out on October 11th. Are you guys Gears? I know you play Gears, right?
No, but I have a really good friend who, RIP, just moved to Russia
RIP.
a few weeks ago, so
Damn.
he won't be playing anymore. But he, that's his number one is Gears of War, and so he was super psyched for this, and he loved it. He did all the remastered shit all until the release day, and then played it and loved it. So apparently it was good.
I love Gears of War. I haven't played the newest one yet because I don't own an Xbox One. However, I have heard good things about, because this is like one of the first ones where Microsoft is doing like the double play,
Yeah.
where like it's also available if you buy it through them on PC and you
Yeah.
can play on your PC. So I plan on testing it out for there. I've heard good things that because that one went well, Halo might have a shot going to PC.
Okay.
Which I'm all about that. You want to put Halo on PC?
Yeah.
Halo 5, did you hear about the PC thing?
Well,
It
the
just came out?
Forge.
Yeah, the Forge,
Yeah.
and they're planning on releasing full multiplayer on that.
Yeah,
pretty
and that's
soon.
that's all I need. Like,
I'm the opposite.
I mean, I love single player Halo
Mhm.
and I want to continue the story, but because I used to be full Microsoft fanboy with a Xbox, but I don't have a One. But oh my god, like if Halo goes to PC, it's game
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
I will be done.
No more Xbox. PlayStation VR came out October 13th. A bunch of games came out for it, like Batman VR,
Bunch
Until
of
Dawn,
half
Rush
games.
of Blood. Yeah, that's what it seems
Bunch
like.
of apps.
Yeah.
Riggs, Res Infinite, Valkyrie, a whole bunch of stuff.
I have no interest in VR.
no interest in VR.
I've done it. I've gone to conventions and I've used people's and I've played around with it. And that's, every time you're done, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
You know
For
what I've
about
really
the 10 minutes that I just tried it out.
I've really enjoyed with the VR is not so much the games, but is the basically the little vignettes, the CGI video vignettes. Some guy brought in his PlayStation VR into the office, and I watched this 15-minute little French animation about this little girl who lived in the clouds and rode on a boat and stuff. And it would have been okay, this was an entertaining YouTube video, but the fact that I could like walk around and like I felt like I could grab her out of the sky, and like I was following her and her mom like along these paths.
And that's my thing is every time I've done VR, I've never felt immersed.
Dude, it's so
like maybe I just did the wrong ones, or maybe I'm just a Scrooge.
Have you done
Batman
head tracking, or have you only done like rotational? Because the PSVR, you can walk around in the shit. And I was going under bridges.
I've done the HTC Vive.
Okay.
I've done the Vive, but maybe because I did it like at DreamHack, so like there's like 100 people watching you do it, so you just never feel comfortable.
Sure.
But like I see like all these commercials for like Samsung VR.
That's bullshit.
These people are
that is so bullshit.
These people are like crying and they're like, "Oh my god, this is so." I'm like,
"It's your
no.
phone."
I'm like, "No."
I have the Gear VR, and I've never wanted to cry, but there's a game called Smash Hit, and the title screen, you're like in this big blocky thing, and if you look straight down, it looks like a 30-foot drop, and every time you look down for a second, your body reacts to it, and it's.
I have to give it another shot then.
Tim, you gotta believe.
It's one of those. It's one of those things where it's like I don't know if I want to drop $400. It's something I more want to show my friends.
Just do what me and Austin did, and you buy a Samsung phone and you get it for free.
I'll bring in the gear.
Okay.
Next time we have a podcast, and you can try it out.
Yeah.
Because for $99,
it's whatever.
Yeah.
PSVR came out with Batman and a whole bunch of other stuff.
What else came out in October, Trey?
Well, a lot of other things came out in October, man. Battlefield 1 came out in October. That's one of the games that we reviewed.
Uh-huh.
I liked it a lot. It's not my type of game.
Mm-hmm. It engaged me more than any non-Halo shooter had in probably a decade.
I kept playing it and trying to do things like a third-person shooter would, like get undercover and just, like I was trying to do things like lock it just certain things that playing another game that I usually play I would do, and I just couldn't do it, and that sort of not frustrated me, but it just wasn't my bag.
If you play it as a slow, methodical, like actually how World War I would be, where you're trudging through stuff, I had a lot of fun with it.
Are you telling me people didn't take horses and jump them off of buildings in World War I?
I don't think so.
I am telling you that.
Lies.
Yeah,
I like that. Like the Lawrence of Arabia part, the stealth aspect of it. I thought that was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. I went in like more excited about it than any other, just standard Battlefield Call of Duty shooter that I had experienced in a long time. But I went in with still way low expectations, like this is gonna suck, and I ended up. I guess because my bar was so low, I ended up enjoying it tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
That helps.
Yeah,
it helps going in. Like if you just go, and that's not just video games, but life in general.
I have a friend who
If you
does
just expect very little from everything in life, I feel like you are pleasantly surprised more than.
I have a friend whose bar is as low as it can go, and he's the happiest guy I know.
Yeah, because everything is better than what you thought.
Yeah.
That's life philosophy with Tim. I like that philosophy. Civ 6 came out on October 21st. We did that podcast as well.
Don't even get me started.
I want to get you started a little bit.
I have not bought Civ 6. That being said, I have like 300 hours plus in Civ 5.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm going to buy it.
It's so good.
How is online?
I don't do online.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, see that was the downfall of Civ 5. Is that like me and my friends would be playing and we're 6 hours into a game and then all of a sudden you get an error and it crashes your server.
Oh, you're talking about like
nothing saves.
Like local online. Like cuz you can do just like matchmaking.
No. I mean like if me and you just wanted to play
it's great. I've played 2 or 3 games with my friends.
Cuz after a while in Civ 5 it was like as the world got bigger, it would take so long to load into afterwards.
Yeah, our turns still take quite a bit of time, but it's been
still
flawless.
better.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2, October 28th. I hear that was fun.
I hear it was one of the best games of the year. And
like
they released it at a bad time, and sales were shitty.
It was released right around the same time as Battlefield,
in between Battlefield and Call of Duty.
Yeah, okay. So, but Titanfall 1 was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really cool, and it was really different. And I've heard this one is actually like
the story's
like
good.
This one, for all reasons, should be Game of the Year. This one should be the Call of Duty killer, but because it's Titanfall and not Battlefield or Call of Duty, it's not getting the attention.
They should have put that in March of next year.
I definitely want to get it.
I want to get it too, and I think it's pretty cheap right now.
I want to rent it at least.
Yeah.
That's been
it's
my
weird.
thing. That's been my realization this year is rent more.
Redbox has been a savior
Yeah.
for doing these PCasts.
Because I think there are
See,
a
and I
bunch
need
of...
to do that for PS4 games.
Yeah.
Because I hate buying console games. But
Because if you play under 10 days with a game, then you're still not spending as much as you'd spend if you... Because it's $3 a day, or... Yeah, $3 a day. So you could play 20 days and
Mhm.
still not, hit the price of a...
yeah, and if you
full
just
game.
if you rented it with the intention of beating it, like
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy this game, and I'm just gonna go ham for like a week and just play this game.
Owlboy came out November 1st. Owlboy, have you played that at all?
No, it's on my list of things I want to play. It's another one of those kind of
Undertale. shit.
side-scrolling platformers, but
Yeah.
looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare did not look cool. That came out November 4th. Did you even touch it?
No,
No?
and apparently it's
It
not
was
doing
in
well.
space.
It was in space.
Yeah,
You
they
know
Yeah.
what space is, right?
SG.
Super
Apparently,
Overwatch.
apparently it is
Nice.
not doing well at all.
Yeah. It's
Good.
not. Good, but I
No,
mean, I
good.
don't want to see anyone have a lose employees.
And that's with
yeah,
remastered Call of Duty
Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare,
Uh-huh.
which this is why I think this is why I side with Austin when they say good. Because if they would have just released a remastered version of Modern Warfare for $20, even 40,
Mm-hmm.
you would have had more people buy that to play. But now that you're going to package it with this game no one really wants, it's
They got Assassin's
Good.
Creed.
I
syndrome.
admit, good on the fact that maybe it will be a sign that we don't want these Call of Duties every year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They got Assassin's Creed syndrome, and it's like people
Yeah.
like these because of the time you put into them, and they're good and fun. But when you put one out every year,
Yeah, that's very true. And I don't know if Activision will have the sense that Ubisoft did.
I mean, look at Guitar Hero. They quit basically when they were ahead. They saw the end times
Yeah.
coming, and they was like, "All right, we're done with this."
Yeah.
And that's what I think Call of Duty should have done a while ago.
Okay. PlayStation 4 Pro on November 10th came out. Are any of you interested in getting that?
I don't think if I had been doing these podcasts and I heard it from you, I don't even know if I would have known
really?
that existed.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
They've done no promo for it or anything.
no,
Yeah, they
and it's
haven't.
really just there for the people who think already own
Yeah.
PlayStations and
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
upgrade.
yeah,
Like
I think that's
I
what it
honestly
is.
think their target market are the people who already own PlayStations.
I'm debating it. If I can sell my PS4 for a good price, I'm debating it.
I'm waiting for like GameStop to have a special, like
Yeah.
trade in your PS4, get 200, and then you're paying two.
I
So
think
here's
you
the thing:
can get 125
I
right
got
now.
my PS4 on day one, like I pre-ordered it, so I spent like $400 on it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so even if I go and trade mine in and get 200, and then I spend 200 more to get a PlayStation Pro, that's like $600 I just spent on a PS4.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I don't know if that's worth it because I just don't play games on my PS4.
Right. See, that's the only way I play games, but I just don't think that. I mean, I have an old Vizio TV. It's like it's the flat screen. It's an old Vizio.
If I was
HD
just
TV.
getting into the game, like I've already told myself when these new consoles come out, except for the Switch, obviously, because it's
Yeah.
completely different. But like when PlayStation or the new Xbox comes out,
you're gonna
like I'm gonna tell my wife, like, take away my credit card. Like, do not
Yeah.
let me buy this.
They just seem like incremental upgrades rather than entirely new.
Which I think that's
consoles.
the direction.
that
they're
is the
going in.
direction.
It seems
And-
like the Game Boy SP to the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
kinda.
Right.
and we'll see what Scorpio is next year. I think that's gonna be more of a quantum leap than.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's just these new consoles. I'm not gonna allow myself to buy them on day one anymore.
We're going to the home stretch. I don't know how much time you have, Tim. We're
If I give you like 10 minutes,
I think we'll be good.
okay.
I mean, there's
'Cause I
like a
have-
few more things.
I have
You just
real-
rapid fire these.
You have a real
I have
show.
real
You gotta-
radio producing to do.
Yeah. Dishonored 2 came out November 11th. That's it. That's a game. The first game I really want to play, and I think I'm going to wait to even touch
All
that
right.
before I play the first
So
one.
here's this, because I actually had this written down for the radio show that we did on Monday, but we didn't have time.
Okay.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's really
right?
weird.
We had a lot. I mean, it was an hour-long show, right? But no, so I haven't played Dishonored 2, okay?
Uh-huh.
But one of these things that I enjoy most, especially like with PC gaming, is because once you buy a game, you typically can't return it. Is like, so I've owned Dishonored now forever.
Mhm.
Like probably like 2 or 3 years I've owned Dishonored, and I have never played through to beating it. I'm almost done with it. But because like with Dishonored 2 comes out, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go. I really want to play Dishonored 2, but I haven't beat Dishonored 1. So it's like all these new games that make you want to go back and play the older ones.
It's like Metal Gear for me.
Yeah. Metal Gear, or
Metal Gear
even
5,
like with the new Final Fantasy, I was like, well, maybe I'll go play Final Fantasy 7 one more time or anything like that. They just make you want to go play the old ones, which BioShock is another one where I feel like you can go play BioShock a couple times and not be tired of it.
Yeah, so definitely.
That's my 2 cents on what was that game? Dishonored 2.
Dishonored 2.
It's an awesome series.
Yeah,
awesome.
Look cool.
Yeah. I hear it's very, very stealth.
Yeah.
Like serious stealth.
Oh.
Not like Metal Gear where you can get spot and just start shooting people.
The most I've ever gotten into stealth games is that part in Ocarina of Time where you have to sneak into the castle. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that was so hard for me when I was a kid. NES Mini came out November 11th. We could have a whole conversation about how Nintendo loves it. They've had this practice forever. They've had it since the NES era, where they produce too few of a product, so the demand rises for it. And like, man, it's been ridiculous with people. I have people asking me if I know where to find one. And
yeah, I kind of thank Nintendo for that because I really wanted one.
Yeah.
And now that the hype's died down, I'm like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
I've lived without it.
Yeah.
And we've all played those. You can go find any of those games for free.
I could download one on my phone right now.
Yeah.
Or just, if you really want a console, just get a Raspberry Pi and download everything on there.
Yep.
There you go.
We got 5 more games.
Okay.
Watch Dogs 2.
Out.
I've played a little bit of it.
No.
I've played a little bit of it.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Cool.
Trey, you're not fooling anybody.
It's really cool.
This is paid advertising.
This is paid advertising.
Keep going. What else came out?
Watch Dogs is great. And go to Ubisoft.com to sign up for a Ubisoft account. Did you hear about the Assassin's Creed movie starring Michael Fassbender?
I heard it was horrible.
It was an amazing film. It's going to win many awards.
Just like Watch Dogs.
Michael Fassbender. Dude, all right. Watch Dogs is actually pretty cool.
I wish I would know, but after Watch Dogs 1, I'm not even going to.
And that's why Titanfall 2 and Watch Dogs 2 have very, very soft sales. It's because it's the sequelitis and people are sick of those old games. And the games that came out, they weren't very good. Now people don't want to play these new ones. Speaking of sequels, Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
Which is a podcast we're going to do right after this. And that came out on November 18th. It's actually doing really, really well.
I think it's the biggest selling one in a long, long time.
Yeah, which is very surprising.
Probably helped by Pokemon Go.
Yeah, which I didn't think would be a factor, but I guess so.
I mean, it kicked up everyone. I think what Pokemon Go helped was like
people remembered.
Like us, we never cared if anyone found out that we still liked Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like to this day. Like, if I was flipping through the channels and I saw an old Pokemon, I'd probably be like, sure, I'll watch it. Oh, Dragon Ball Z? Sure, I'll watch Dragon Ball Z. Because we don't care. We're not the people who would care. But, like, for the people our age who, like, friends that I knew grew up with the same interests that I have, but would never admit to liking Dragon Ball Z or Pokemon or anything like that, I think Pokemon Go helped show that, hey, people still like this.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, you're not some virgin for liking Pokemon.
It's the same thing as the alt-right. You know, people were thinking all these things, and then Trump got elected, and they feel like it's okay to talk about it.
Like,
now.
Hold up. You mean I can publicly, like, hate gay people? No,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Totally in. Yeah, on Pokemon.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I hate Overwatch now. Final Fantasy 15 came out November 29th.
Okay.
Finally, after 10 years.
Wow.
Did you play that at all?
It's on my list, but again,
I don't think I'm going to.
I know myself better, and I know if I bought it, I'd play it for maybe a couple hours, and I'd be like, well, okay.
It just from what I've heard about, I'm glad people like it. I don't think it's my game.
I've never been into jerps.
The jerps?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds very racist, but yeah. Dead Rising 4, December 6th. I hear it's...
Heard it wasn't good.
Yeah, I hear
Dead Rising 4 came out?
Yeah. It was barely advertised until Xbox One. And
it could not have been that good then.
Well, I hear a lot of the stuff that made Dead Rising 1 great, not in there in Dead Rising 4. I hear it's really easy.
This is the franchise where it's like the first one you were in a mall, right?
Yeah, it's in a mall. It's with the same guy. You're in a mall. And it's just, I hear they've neutered it almost. It's just not very good.
Huh.
Yeah. I hear it's like fun, mindless fun, but I wouldn't spend $60 on it. Finally, The Last Guardian came out December 6th.
Hey, I heard that was pretty good.
It's good. I played a few hours of it, and I hear it's the controls are terrible.
But I heard they tried to make Trico very realistic,
Yes.
and that translated to not good gameplay.
Yeah.
And people have been frustrated with trying to get him to listen.
Realistic in the sense of not listening to you the first
Right,
time.
yeah.
Or the 5th time.
Almost like, hey, man, if you totally just met this random wild dog, he wouldn't listen to you either.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, that's great.
That doesn't make it a good game.
Make it cute for maybe the first couple of levels, and then let's get on with it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's been getting like 10s and it's been getting 5s. It's all over the spectrum, that game. But it's cool that it's out, finally. Tim, I know you got to get going fairly soon.
Yeah, let's just do our votes.
We're not voting. We can all have our own separate games of the year. We don't need to have a blowout podcast network game of the year or anything like that. Tim, what?
Except for it's going to be ours.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's saying that because he knows it's not going to be his.
His is going to be Watch Dogs 2.
Yes. Watch Dogs 2, brought to you by the new movie by Michael Fassbender, Assassin's Creed.
Have you heard Pharrell doing the spots for Assassin's Creed?
I have not.
It's amazing.
I need to listen to that.
Yeah.
All right. So, Tim, you want to do your top 3 games of this year and top 5 games you've played this year?
I'll give you my top games. I don't know if I have 5 or
that's fine.
3.
Do whatever you got.
Top games, I'm going to say Overwatch. But again, the reason I'm not going to give that my game of the year is because there's no single player, and I feel that's kind of cheating.
Do you think they will one day or no?
No. Blizzard doesn't play dumb games.
Yeah.
Blizzard does not make those single player type games.
Yeah.
I really loved WoW Legion as far as reviving that franchise, and I think it brought a lot of people back.
What game was that again? I'm sorry.
World of Warcraft Legion,
okay.
the latest expansion pack.
Okay.
But I mean, it completely added. I mean, it's a whole new game, like completely new. But no, I think my game of the year, for all intents and purposes, is Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
I think from start to finish, it's a fun game because you constantly get to. You grow on yourself, like you upgrade your house, you upgrade your farm, you get new equipment. It's constantly upgrading on itself. You can go further into the caves. It has a lot of playing value to it. I mean, for everything we said before, like you can really do a lot with it. If you want to just sit there and take care of your farm and fish, more power to you. If you want to go exploring in the caves, you can do that. So I liked Stardew Valley.
I might buy that pretty soon.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
sure. And I think it's only again on Steam,
like
$20. I think it's on sale now for like $12.
Man.
And for like Trey, you who don't have,
well, would you recommend? I mean, I might.
It's not a power game. Like you could probably play it on
PS4.
Well, PS4, but like even if you don't have like
Mac.
that amazing of a PC,
you can play it on a Game Boy Advance probably.
Okay.
Right? It's that type of graphics.
Okay. Anything else on your list?
As far as most played,
or just what you've been playing this year? I guess what's your favorite this year?
Like I said, so on my Steam, I have a really big to-do list, and in that is games like the first Dishonored. Like I go back and I play a lot of those. I play a lot of party games with friends, just because we're on all the time. So single player games aren't normally an option for me, but we play a lot of speedrunners. This game called Move or Die. That's a good one. Keep Talking and No One Explodes, which I don't know if that came out this year or last year, but
I think it's a couple of years ago.
Like in
its earliest
that's
form.
what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why those early access games are always hard to tell when they actually come out. But I play a lot of indie games, so I think Speedrunners is also up there for most played.
See, I think I'm missing so much just by not having a PC, because I have a lot of like friends who are YouTubers and they play games constantly, and it's stuff I can't.
With YouTubers.
They're like me.
Does that come up every show?
Does
he do that a lot?
Every break.
No, he doesn't. They're like they have the like same amount of subscribers as I do. It's not nothing at all impressive, but a lot of them play games online, like these multiplayer games. I just don't ever do it because I don't really have many real life friends that play that many games, except for like Austin and Tim. I guess we could play more, Tim. Maybe I could play with you some more.
Look, man, when I get a house, I plan on having
a whole room.
Yeah.
Just a whole room and lots of Super Smash Brothers.
All right, man. I want to play with you more on the video games.
Me and Austin still have a date to play Super Smash Brothers from like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
some party that got canceled.
Oh, I remember that actually. Yeah,
because everyone bailed the day of.
Yeah. What would your, I guess, 2016, what does that mean to you as far, it sounds so cheesy.
What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to you? Like, last year was sort of the year of the big open world game. I guess what is this year?
I don't know. I feel like this year didn't have nearly as many new franchises. Like we saw Uncharted. Okay,
Yeah.
that's been around.
Beautiful.
We saw Dishonored 2, another Battlefield, which has been around. Mechanics are still there. So I feel like this year wasn't a lot of new games other than that's where the indies shined. Is you have a lot of these new indies that can take that risk of having new artwork or anything there. So a lot of indies to me is when I think of that. Like I look at my Steam and I've bought very little AAA titles this year.
It did definitely seem like the year of the indie. Did you want to chill here while we do ours? I think we're almost done.
Yeah, just speed through it.
Okay. Austin, what are your top games of this year?
So I have 6.
Okay.
In no specific order, and these are a mix of my favorite games that I played and games
Okay.
I think that are the best games of the year. So,
Okay.
Pokemon, Sun and Moon,
Mm-hmm.
Pogo.
What's Pogo?
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon
Oh,
Go.
Pokemon Go. Okay.
Civ 6,
Okay.
Inside, Overwatch, Stardew Valley, and Jackbox Party Pack 3.
There you go. Jackbox. Yeah. Again, it's a very hot list of indies and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Mine would be Uncharted 4: Thief's End, and I've mentioned many times. I love that game. I thought it was the best Uncharted experience, the best Uncharted game. I thought the story was amazing, the presentation was amazing, it looked beautiful. I defend that game. I will defend that game forever because people really don't like it. People don't like Uncharted because they feel like it's a movie. It's not a real game. And people like to give it shit because of this or that. I mean, and that they have a right to have that opinion. I don't know. I really love that game. I really love that series. Yeah, it was just a very good send-off for a very
Is
good
it done?
franchise. It's done.
Is it done?
It's done.
Like
they
without
left
having
it.
spoilers?
They left it open where they could be like, yeah, we can maybe come back and do it, but differently. Like it could happen again, but it would be with a different character.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a chance it maybe one day could come back, but it would be different. It
So he
wouldn't be-
died.
I'm not gonna say if he died or not.
Okay.
But yeah,
he died.
I wouldn't say he died or not. I'll tell you off air, but I'm not gonna tell you here.
You're talking about generic white cis male?
Yeah,
Main
white
character,
cis
right?
Nathan Drake male.
Okay.
I don't know if he died or not. You can't tell you.
Okay.
But it didn't leave it open. It was an ending. It was done. But there's still a chance they could still do Uncharted.
He died and now his daughter is taking over.
Oh, okay.
They're really going off the
that's-
beaten
That's
path.
interesting, man.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm half right.
You're half
I can
right. Have
tell
you seen the video?
No, but I mean, I can
didn't-
definitely
all right,
tell you
spoilers,
how.
Spoilers. He didn't die. He's still alive.
What?
Yeah, he did not die.
Okay.
Not all stories with emotional resonance have to be
But
about death.
I mean,
Tim.
it's any type of story where,
But
like,
he
what?
did have a daughter.
He's got a daughter.
How did you know he had a daughter?
Because that's so generic story right there.
He has a daughter, and she could possibly, if they do another one, probably she'd be the main character.
Cool.
So yeah, no, I love the game. I had a really good time playing it. I want to go back and try to platinum it. It's my favorite game of the year. It's the game I've thought about for all year.
So in conclusion, Watch Dogs 2 is your
Watch Dogs 2 is my
collective
favorite game of the year. Yes.
Okay.
Inside, as we've talked about before, Inside was great. Batman Telltale series, that was great as well. I really enjoyed all 3 of those. And now my top 5 games I played this year, because I've been going through backlogs a ton, and so I've been playing a lot of old games as well, and that's been my mantra the last few years. Number 1 game this year I played this year, Skyrim, the remastered, and I was playing that for like 2 months straight.
That might be the GOAT for me.
Yeah, that was amazing. I hadn't played it before, and I got sucked in. I got sucked in at Fallout last year. Like that was my big game last December was Fallout, and I mean I own a lot of these open world games, but yeah, I don't really beat a lot of them. But just the Bethesda ones sucked me in. I don't know.
I've never even.
They're good at that.
Meh.
Yeah.
I don't play. I didn't buy Fallout 4 or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I know I know I'm not gonna play it.
No, and that's fine. I mean, they're definitely not for everybody. And I don't really like the Ubisoft open worlds as much because I feel like it's more like box checking and not a lot of discovery. Where Skyrim is at its best when you're just walking around doing nothing. That's where it's at its best. Because I started to get into trophy hunting, and
You'll
it
get
kind
lost.
of and it just sort of kind of got boring. But once you just start wandering around, it's at its best. Metal Gear Solid 3, I finally beat that this year. I love that game. I love that whole effing series, and that game is probably the best combination of story and gameplay. Metal Gear Solid 3 is just an amazing game. Uncharted 4, Inside, and then Metal Gear Solid 4. That game is a movie. Like, people like to say, Uncharted's a movie, and Metal Gear 3 is a movie. That is a movie. It's not. There's barely any gameplay. It's a movie. It's
that was
fun.
the one that came out for PS3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
It's
that one
fun,
is. That's
but
a lot of cutscenes.
It's a movie, and it's weird, but it's Metal Gear. So yeah, and I agree. 2016, it's very much indie.
So, in conclusion,
In
me and
conclusion.
Austin were right and you were wrong
But
Yeah.
what?
Everything.
about the game of the year.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, what do we decide our game of the year is?
You're just wrong on yours.
Yeah.
Oh, Uncharted's wrong.
Your opinion is wrong, Trey.
Why is it wrong? Are you guys gonna take the podcast over from me now? And
Yeah.
now it's gonna be your
Thanks
thing?
for joining us today, Trey.
Oh shit. Well, hopefully you
Maybe
might
if you can do it
see me
again sometime, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe-
I
But
don't
maybe
know.
the next time, like Uncharted comes out, Uncharted 5, you can come out
Yeah,
and talk
you
about
can phone
Uncharted
in.
5.
Phone in on Uncharted 5?
Yeah.
Okay, I can maybe do that. Maybe Last of Us 2, we can talk about that, or not really? No?
I feel like you're more of an Uncharted expert.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not really a Last of Us guy, but
Maybe when Watch Dogs 3 comes out, maybe we'll have you on.
Well, do you want to do the outro then, since this isn't my podcast anymore?
Yeah, thanks to Ubisoft for sponsoring this year's Game of the Year.
Yes, thank you.
podcast.
Ubisoft with the Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, Ubisoft run by Michael Fassbender. Thanks for all the great movies this year.
All the great movies. Yeah, thanks again. This is our Game of the Year podcast. We went 121, which is almost more than double our time doing Blow the Cartridge.
Wow.
Yeah.
who would have thought?
Who would have thunk? Thanks again, Tim, for joining us. I know now you got to do a real show.
Yeah.
No, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the
chump.
warm up.
We got to do this again sometime. You can find Tim on Twitter and your podcast. Plug your shit.
Yeah, I can
plug
plug
it.
it here. Twitter's at Pirate Mushroom. The podcast is TCR. You can just go to tcr.gg if you want to see all the episodes on the website.
All right.
We haven't done one since like November just because of the wedding and honeymoon and holidays. Shit happens.
Yeah.
I'm an adult. Get over it. But no, yeah. So we talk about esports and everything there.
Yeah. So go check out his shit. It's good shit. Do you ever stream anymore?
Oh, when I get a house, I'm going to stream.
Okay.
The in-laws internet is not good. I mean, it takes me like 7 hours, which is another reason why I haven't bought a lot of video games.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, sweet, Doom looks really cool. It would take me like 13 hours to download it. So
All right, man.
I just don't bother with their internet.
Well, we appreciate you joining us, man.
Thanks, Tim.
Anytime, Tim.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Good luck
Tim.
on your Pokemon.
Thanks.
podcast.
We got to record that next. Jesus.
Good luck.
Thanks, buddy. Austin Guttery, you can find him at Helen Smeller
Mhm.
or at Sportssturm.
Yep.
On Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to say about 2016, Tim?
Tim?
Oh, no, you're not
Anything?
Tim. He just left. He died. Austin, any closing words?
I think 2016 was the calm before the 2017 storm. We're gonna get a lot of new stuff next
We will
year.
get a lot of new stuff next
So
year.
we'll see.
Next year, we want to start with, I think we're going to do a year in review. Then I really want to play that George DiGianni audio
Yeah, let's do it.
where he had a guy on talking about video game addiction, which is a real thing, but the guy had not probably played a video game in 20 years, and it's very funny. It's something we can laugh at. And then I kind of want to review some of the video game movies that
Okay.
have come out this year.
Cool.
So yeah, that's the podcast. Thanks for listening. I'm Trey Mitchell. You can find me at CrayTreyVids on Twitter, CrayTrey1310 on YouTube. I do a YouTube channel. Hopefully I'll actually do more videos next year. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, so
Cool.
check that out.
Love you.
Super GamesCast 64. We're on the Blowout Network. We post there every once in a while for reviews. We also have our own podcast, Super GamesCast 64, same name. And we do a weekly podcast where we talk about video games and more, just, more news of the day or just whatever topics. And it's a fun time. And I'm going to start the website up again. It'll probably be at supergamescast64.com.
Love you.
Love you. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.